told you that vegetarians wouldn't be happy to hear how gelatin is made? Now is time to tell you the truth about the ingredient that you can find in your favorite candies, including the gummy bears. Most gummies are made from gelatin, which is made from animal skin and bones. They use what is left of the dead bodies of the animals to create the gummies that we all love. There are tons of body parts, and when you look at this mountain of animal corpses, you can't help but feel sorry for those pigs who suffer only so we can eat a tiny candy. The meat is turned into little strings, which are then turned into something that looks like a powder. It's turned into a liquid, and this is when they add color and flavor. Then, out of a machine comes a delicious little treat that we love to taste. At least, this is what we thought before we saw those pictures. We might feel a little less guilty when we eat a steak, but killing animals to make something that we don't really need doesn't seem right. At least companies are starting to make vegan gummies for the best of everyone. If you're a vegetarian, were you surprised to know that gummies are made from animals? Don't be shy to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Breakfast sandwiches. Going to a fast food restaurant is the best way to start the morning. You don't have to cook, and you have a delicious meal anyway, which is way better than a simple bowl of cereal. You might feel a little heavier during the rest of the day, but it won't stop you from doing the same thing the next morning. And the reason why you might feel bad is probably that it contains things that you would never put in your mouth if you knew what it was. You can probably find the worst breakfast sandwich at Subway. One of the ingredients is propylene glycol. It's a solvent for food colors and flavorings that is also used in antifreeze and deodorant sticks, and to lubricate air conditioner compressors. Then we have glycerin, a solvent that we can find in soaps, moisturizers, and some brands of shaving cream. We also have TBHQ, or tertiary butyl hydroquinone, which is used to preserve vegetable oils against oxidation. It doesn't sound that bad unless you know that it's also used in perfumes, lacquers, and varnishes. And who can forget dimethyl polysiloxane, which can be found in silly putty and many lubricants. And there's also calcium silicate, a sealant used on roofs, roads, and concrete. We'll just skip the most important meal of the day instead. That's not worth it. French fries. What could go wrong with French fries? It's just potatoes covered with a tomato sauce that we call ketchup, but McDonald's found a way to make those French fries disgusting, mostly for vegetarians. It actually takes 19 ingredients to transform a potato into a piece of gold. We would expect to see things like potatoes, different oils, and salt, but we don't really like to hear that we can also find citric acid, dimethyl polysiloxane, dextrose, sodium acid pyrophosphate, and TBHQ. If you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't put it in your mouth. But all these weird ingredients were not the reason why people were shocked. What they hated the most was the natural beef flavor. McDonald's fries are pre-cooked in beef tallow, which is described as natural flavoring. Hindus who don't eat beef for religious reasons and vegetarians were not happy to hear about that. This is why, in June 2002, McDonald's was forced to pay $10 million to Hindu and vegetarian groups who thought that the fries were vegan. But there's also one last thing that anyone will hate about French fries from McDonald's. After 4 years in a sealed jar, they looked the same. When we look at the KFC fries, we know that this is not normal. But just wait until you see which thing from McDonald's stayed the same for 14 years. Tomato sauce. Here's another thing that we're going to ruin. You will never look at your pasta covered with tomato sauce the same way again. This time, we don't really care about how they are made, but about what we can find in the ingredients. At least, that wasn't planned, but that doesn't stop it from being there. You'll want to keep watching if you're vegan, because you might accidentally find something that is alive on your plate if you go to an Italian restaurant. And you will be even less happy to hear that you won't find animals but bugs in the tomato sauce. That's because the FDA doesn't care if there are fly eggs or maggots in your tomato sauce. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, it's totally normal to find 30 or more fly eggs per 100 grams. You could even find 1 maggot per 100 grams. The numbers are similar for canned tomatoes, tomato juice, tomato puree, and pasta, pizza sauce, and other sauces. Sometimes they can even tolerate 30 fly eggs or 2 maggots per 100 milligrams. That's something we wish we never knew about now that we me think about all the tomatoes that we ate recently. Anyway, you probably won't notice the fly eggs in your plate. Let's just say that maggots are full of protein. Hamburgers. Now that you watch this video, you won't be able to eat anything. And if you thought that you wouldn't be able to stop yourself from eating a hamburger at McDonald's anyway, we'll make you change your mind. People start by inspecting cuts of meat before they are sent through the grinder. It is formed into beef patties and sent into a giant freezer just before they are boxed and packaged for shipping. Some patties are even tested before the batches of meat are sent out. The fast food restaurant also had to explain that they don't use pink slime in this recipe to make people feel less disgusted. All this sounds normal, which is why it's weird to think that a hamburger could be so disgusting. But you won't be happy to hear that this is the thing that stayed the same after 14 years in a coat pocket. A scientist even conducted a series of tests to understand if burgers would rot over time, and he thought that because of the burger's small size and large surface area, it would lose moisture very fast. Without moisture, bacteria or mold can't grow. We don't know about you, but we are not going to McDonald's anytime soon. Is there any disgusting food that you would love to eat anyway? Don't be shy to tell us what it is in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear what you think.